So this video is for you if you feel like you are repelled by quality men, meaning you tend to attract or fall for the bad guys, and then if a good man shows up, you're like, yeah, he's boring. But then you're like, what's wrong with me? I want a healthy relationship, but I feel like it doesn't exist, or I'm just not attracted to it. So we're gonna talk about that. And first things first, let me explain why we are attracted to the bad boys, not the quality man, right? The man who isn't fully showing up, he's maybe unavailable, he's inconsistent. Everything that I just described right there, inconsistent, unavailable, is what we call the ego roller coaster. So we all, as humans, we all have egos, right? The ego loves a roller coaster like this. High highs, lows, lows. Oh my gosh, he just texted me and I just heard from him. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard from him in 3 days. I hate boys. Oh my gosh, he just liked my picture on Instagram. There's that world where you're attracted to and attractive to the inconsistent guy, that sort of relationship. Maybe you like friends with benefits. That's like easier, more comfortable for you, right? That all lives in that world. Now, come over to the quality man who's being consistent, who's being a gentleman, who shows up. If you tend to be like, oh my gosh, this is kind of boring, or you kind of freak out, you're like, oh my gosh, he's being too nice, like something must be wrong with him, and you don't want to go on a second date with him, and then what we want to recognize is that your ego could be at play. Because if the ego loves inconsistency, and it can be an addiction, right? An unconscious, sneaky addiction, then the ego's gonna be repelled by something that's stable and solid and consistent because we're not a match for it. Now, this can come from chaotic childhoods, it can come from many different things. Where it comes from isn't necessarily that important. What's important is that you identify what you really want. Like, do you want to be with a stable man in a committed relationship? So we identify, what do you want, right? And if you want to be attracted to the quality man who's consistent and shows up, then you get to decide that you want to become a match for that. One thing that I do want to share is being with a quality man who shows up consistently doesn't mean that you don't get to have excitement and an expansive relationship with attraction, right? You can have both. So know that you can be attracted to and attractive to the quality man, and this means that you get to override your ego. You get to tell your ego to take a nap, and that you're willing to explore and be open to this guy who's consistently showing up. And what I've also seen women do is they'll have a 10 out of 10 in front of them who's courting them, and because it's beyond their realm of experience and acceptance of what's possible in relationship, they'll unconsciously make that man wrong in some way by thinking, oh, he's probably just like a pushover, or they'll say all these things to like make him wrong and not give him a chance, right? Which is how we unconsciously push men away. So coming back to you want to identify what you do want, decide that you want to be a match for it, right? And then be willing to give it a chance. You want to be mindful of the sneaky ego conversations. And then something really tangible for you ladies is the next time you want to date with a quality guy, say you catch that conversation of like, oh my gosh, like this is boring. Just catch those thoughts and say, what if this was an incredible start to a relationship? And be willing to give the guy 3 dates minimum, because you will really surprise yourself. So I want you to ask that question and be willing to give the guy who maybe is actually showing up for you a chance, because I've worked with thousands of men and women, and specifically with women, when I ask them what it is that they really want, and we get to the heart of it, to the point where they're in tears and they're emotional, all they say is, I want to feel at home. So beautiful. They say, I want to feel at home. And home is where the heart is, right? A guy who's consistently showing up is also going to be there to hold your heart and for you to experience that home with him, okay? And all ladies get to have this. So be mindful when our ego's running the show, and be willing to give a guy who's showing up consistently a chance, and be willing to give him more than 3 dates. Also, because nerves are high on dates for men sometimes, right? So that way the nerves can settle in. So I love you guys. And if you have any questions, comment below, and I'm sending you so much love and light.